I'm gonna do a loop around. Brown house, circa 1850. Oh, bicycle ain't holding up good in the rain. In the grass. Yeah, AC. This is cabin number 2. Welcome to the Brown house. Cabin 2. Code in.
There's a bedroom here too.
Built in 1850. Come in. There's a log. Sign in and tell about your story. It's a 2-day minimum to stay here, you said? Welcome to my crib. It's the first room. I guess this would be the living room. Fireplace. I guess they probably have a fireplace in every room. They actually have a closet, which was probably something as a luxury back then. It doesn't open up. They didn't have space for closets back in that time. Here's a picture of the big house. Just left there. There's a bedroom over there. Now we walk over to the kitchen. Stairway leading up. Try that next, but first I want to explore this kitchen with the whole cabinet set up. Bathroom. As you can tell, this was an add-on. This used to be the exterior of the house because it had a lap side in there. So this section we're in now was added on later after the front was built. We're going to the bathroom. Oops, another drop down. Let's drop down. This was another add-on after the add-on. Clawfoot tub. Let's see. Cabinets. Oh, they actually works. Wow. Wasn't expecting the cabinets to work. You don't have to bring pots or pans. They're already here. We have microwave, toaster, oven, coffee machine, little storage area. Let's see what's in these ones. Empty. Empty. Refrigerator, that's the back door. That's my baby. Now journey upstairs to the deep steps. Oh. First thing when you walk up, it's colder. Oh, I hit my head. All right. Well, it's not built for 6'2". Room number 1. Guess that's so you can get in the bed. And it's no frills. Fireplace, small window. This is pretty much it. This is a double room. Notice, looks like this fireplace is falling. It's definitely shifting down. Wow. And this is a tour of cabin 2 minus the master bedroom. Hope y'all enjoyed it. This is the plantation, established in 1619. I want to go record these buildings. Come on, babe, look in the windows. That's a burial site right there.
Yeah, that's the owner.
You want to take your bike off the sidewalk in case somebody walking past? This is how they used to do the pyramids in ancient Egypt, baby. When the pharaohs would die, they would have their horses and carriage to take them to the next world, close to their body. It's funny how symbolic it is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Owner's burial site. Boots are making an obnoxious noise right now, but sound like one of the horses. I thought it was overlooking water. It's overlooking rolling fields. Let's record this. Seems like a little sitting area back down here. Off the beaten path. A lot of field to pick.
Oh, these mosquitoes.
Right on one. Go up, go. One time, go. Let's go, go.
you go. Just don't do what I did one time and go all the way over the other side.
Now, just yourself. What you want to do is
And you can take your foot out of that if you want to.
don't be scared. Get a ride. Whip the front there. Lean forward.
Wait, too fast. Too fast. Wait, you ain't even walking. You ain't even walking. I was going yet. You went too fast.
That's his walking speed. I was.
We was trying to run it.
You ready?
I'm ready now.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Stretch your legs out. Dog. Forward. Right. In other words, you feel yourself moving.
I'm ready now. I'm not ready.
Oh my lord!
I'm ready.
We're gonna take you to the gravel and we're gonna come back.
Well, why am I riding so much?
You're not balanced.
How do I do it?
Put your legs up. He just told
Like
you.
this? No, you guys tell me about that.
I'm gonna let you figure out this stuff. Oh, because you figured out this stuff.
I think I got it. Yeah, me and the horse.
Hey, baby, you take your horse to Old Town Road.
I am. Look at me. I'm riding the horse. There you go.
You leaning, ain't you, babe?
Yeah, that's how you get your balance. You gotta lean your way.
So as I study more about the plantation, this river house is actually the main house. It overlooks the James River. You can't really see it beyond the trees, and it faces the mansion. And those houses would have been the slaves' quarters. The mansion is way down there. The stars in the chimney aren't decorative. They actually hold the structure together, stop the chimney from falling apart. You can see the difference in the bricks around the basement door. It shows when construction continued on the expansion of the house. You notice it doesn't have a front or back porch because they never finished their rehab of the property. Look in the back door, the back window. Chippoke Plantation, directly across the James River from the first English settlement in the New World, has been continually farmed since 1619. It's named for the Algonquin chief Chippoke, excuse me if I mispronounced that, who befriended the colonists and whose people probably grew corn here long before the Europeans arrived in the continent. It's the James River over there. So when these trees wasn't that big, the property actually overlooked the James. Around here you could actually see the stars holding the chimney together a little better. See? They keep the chimney from coming away from the structure. Pretty interesting fact. You see that's all pretty cracked up. And we're back around front. The structures behind me, they were the slave quarters, turned into the sharecroppers' quarters, turned into the tenant quarters. And this is the river house facing the mansion at the end of the road. A lot of history, a lot of things going on. Didn't even know about it. I actually drove past here a couple times. Didn't have the slightest idea what was going on. Their buildings must be inhabited by, I guess, the local ranger or something. That old structure, it's one of the old quarters. It's used for storage, as is the other one coming up. It's just a lot of rolling fields out here, a lot of animals, a lot of flowers and trees, and crops. One of the structures that started off as, they call this road right here Quarter Lane, because this is where the living quarters was. This was a slave's quarter, then it turned to a tenant farmer's quarter, and they're leaving the river house, headed towards the mansion. Another quarter on Quarter Lane. This one obviously looks older. It's a nice sign in front of it. Let's see what the sign says. A history of silence. In 1619, Captain William Powell obtained 550 acres of what would become Chippoke Plantation. That same year, the first Africans to inhabit Virginia were taken by ship to the Jamestown Fort, which is across the river. Initially, historians believe African people in Virginia were treated as indentured servants. That is to say, they were worked a certain amount of years and then were freed. Little by little, law by law, the General Assembly began gradually reducing the freedoms of African peoples. By the little we know about the enslaved people who worked, lived, and died in Chippokes comes from tax and census records. We know nothing of their lives, thoughts, or feelings. All that we have are their names and generations of silence. Quarter Lane, it's this lane right here. This house is on Quarter Lane that we walk down. Quarter Lane is the name of the road connecting the river house and the Jones Stewart mansion. Quarter referred to the row of houses or quarters that enslaved African Americans lived in during the 1800s. This 20th century aerial photo right here shows the houses, their original uses, and the approximate dates they were built. The surviving slave quarters on Chippoke Plantation were built by Albert Jones in the mid-1800s. After the Civil War, the buildings were used to house sharecropper families and later tenant farmers. That's the whole system. Quarters, tenant farmer house, slave quarters, tenant farmer house, and barns. Well, the rolling plantations,